Deuteronomy 30. 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things come upon you, the blessing or the curse, which I have set before you, and you remember them among all the nations, whither the Lord your God has driven you. 2. And you turn to the Lord your God, and obey his voice, according to all that I command you today, you and your children, with all your heart and with all your soul. 3. Then the Lord your God will bring you back from your captivity, and will have mercy on you, and will gather you again from all the nations among which the Lord your God scattered you. 4. Though your outcasts are at the ends of the heavens, from there the Lord your God will gather you, and from there he will take you. 5. And the Lord your God will bring you into the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it, and he will do you good, and multiply you more than your fathers. 6. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thine heart, and the heart of thy seed, to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. 7. And the Lord your God will put all these curses on your enemies, and on those who hate you, who persecute you. 8. Then you will convert and listen to the voice of the Lord, thou shalt do all his commandments which I command thee this day. 9. And the Lord thy God shall make thee prosper in all the work of thy hands, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy land, for thy good, for the Lord will again rejoice over you to do you good, as he rejoiced over your fathers. 10. When you obey the voice of the Lord your God, keeping his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law, when you turn to the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. 11. For this commandment, which I command you today, is not hidden from you, nor is it far from you. 12. It is not in heaven, that you should say, who will go up to heaven for us, and get it for us, and make us hear it, that we may do it. 13. Nor is it beyond the sea, that you should say, who will pass for us across the sea, that he may bring it to us, and make us hear it, that we may do it. 14. For this word is very close to you, in your mouth and in your heart, to do it. 15. See here, today I have proposed to you life and good, and death and evil. 16. Because I command you this day, that you love the Lord your God, that you walk in his ways, and that you keep his commandments, and his statutes, and his judgments, that you may live and multiply, and that the Lord your God may bless you in the land which you go in to possess. 17. But if your heart turns away, and you refuse to listen, and you are enticed to worship other gods and serve them. 18. So I declare to you today that you will surely perish, ye shall not prolong your days in the land whither thou goest over Jordan, to go in and possess it. 19. I call heaven and earth to witness against you today, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life, that both you and your descendants may live. 20. Loving the Lord your God, listening to his voice, and drawing close to him, for he is your life, and the length of your days, that you may dwell in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. Deuteronomy 31. 1. Then Moses went and spoke these words to all Israel. 2. And he said unto them, 120 years old am I this day, I will no longer be able to go out and come in. Moreover the Lord said unto me, Thou shalt not pass over Jordan. 3. The Lord your God will pass before you, he will destroy these nations from before you, that you may possess them. Joshua will pass over before you, as the Lord has spoken. 4. And the Lord will do to them as he did to Sihon and Og, kings of the Amorites, and to their land, which he destroyed. 5. When therefore the Lord sets them before you, then you shall do with them according to all the commandment which I have commanded you. 6. Strive, and cheer up, do not be afraid or dismayed at them, for the Lord your God is he who goes with you, he will not leave you nor forsake you. 7. And Moses called Joshua, and said to him in the sight of all Israel, Be strong and of good courage, for with this people you will enter the land which the Lord swore to your fathers to give them, and thou shalt cause them to inherit it. 8. The Lord, then, is he who goes before you, he will be with you, he will not leave you nor forsake you, fear not, nor be dismayed. 9. And Moses wrote this law, and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and to all the elders of Israel. 10. And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, at the set time of the year of release, at the Feast of Tabernacles. 11. When all Israel comes to appear before the Lord your God in the place which he shall choose, you shall read this law in the presence of all Israel in their hearing. 12. Gather the people together, men and women, children and strangers who are within your gates, that they may hear and learn and fear the Lord your God, and be careful to do all the words of this law. 13. And let your children, who do not know it, hear and learn to fear the Lord your God, all the days that you live in the land which you are going over the Jordan to possess it. 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, behold, thy days are come, that thou must die. Call Joshua, and present yourselves at the tent of meeting, that I may give him orders. So Moses and Joshua went, and they presented themselves in the tent of meeting. 15. Then the Lord appeared in the tent, in the pillar of cloud, and the pillar of cloud was over the tent door. 16. And the Lord said unto Moses, behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and play the harlot after the strange gods of the land, whither they go among them, and will forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them. 17. So shall my anger burn against him in that day, and I will forsake him, and hide my face from him, that he may be devoured, and so many evils and anguish will overtake him, that he will say in that day, did not these evils overtake me, because my God is not among me? 18. I will therefore completely hide my face on that day, for all the evil that I have done, because they have turned to other gods. 19. Now therefore write this song for yourselves, and teach it to the children of Israel, put it in your mouth, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. 20. For I will bring my people into the land which I swore to their fathers, which flows with milk and honey, and shall eat, and be satisfied, and be fat. Then he will turn to other gods and serve them, and they will anger me and break my covenant. 21. And it shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles overtake him, then this song shall answer against him for a witness, for it shall not be forgotten from the mouth of his seed, for I know his imagination, what he does today, before I bring him into the land I have sworn to. 22. So Moses wrote this song that day, and taught it to the children of Israel. 23. And he commanded Joshua the son of Nun, and said, be strong and of good courage, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I have sworn to them, and I will be with you. 24. And it came to pass, when Moses had finished writing in a book all the words of this law. 25. He commanded the Levites, who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, 26. Take this book of the law, and put it beside the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, that it may be there for a witness against you. 27. For I know your rebellion and your stiff neck. Behold, while I am still living with you today, you have rebelled against the Lord, and how much more after my death? 28. Assemble before me all the elders of your tribes, and your officers, and I will speak these words in their ears, and against them I will call heaven and earth to witness. 29. For I know that after my death you will surely corrupt, and you will deviate from the way that I commanded you. Then this evil shall overtake you in the last days, when you shall do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger with the work of your hands. 30. Then Moses spoke the words of this song in the ears of all the congregation of Israel, until they ended. Deuteronomy 32. 1. Incline your ear, O heavens, and I will speak, and let the earth hear the words of my mouth. 2. Let my teaching drop like rain, my word drop like dew, like showers on the grass and like drops of water on the grass. 3. For I will proclaim the name of the Lord, magnify our God. 4. He is the rock, whose work is perfect, for all his righteous ways are his. God is truth, and there is no injustice in him, just and upright is he. 5. They corrupted themselves against him, they are not his children, but his stain, perverse and distorted generation is. 6. Do you thus reward the Lord, foolish and ignorant people? Is he not your Father who acquired you, made you and established you? 7. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations, ask your father, and he will tell you, to your elders, and they will tell you. 8. When the Most High distributed inheritances to the nations, when he divided the children of Adam from one another, he established the borders of the peoples, according to the number of the children of Israel. 9. For the portion of the Lord is his people, Jacob is his share of the inheritance. 10. He found him in a desert land, and in a lonely howling wilderness, he surrounded him, instructed him, and kept him as the apple of his eye. 11. As an eagle stirs up its nest, hovers over its young, spreads out its wings, takes them up, carries them on its wings. 12. So the Lord alone guided him, and there was no strange God with him. 13. He made him ride on the heights of the earth, and eat the fruits of the field, and made him suck honey from the rock and oil from the hard flint. 14. Butter of cows, and milk of sheep, with the fat of the lambs and of the rams that feed in Bashan, and of the goats, with the choicest wheat, and you drank the blood of the grapes, the pure wine. 15. And when Jeshurun grew fat, he kicked, you grew fat, you grew thick, and you covered yourself with fat, and he forsook God who made him, and he despised the rock of his salvation. 16. With strange gods they provoked him to zeal, with abominations they angered him. 17. Sacrifices offered to demons, not to God, to the gods they did not know, new gods that came recently, which your fathers did not fear. 18. You forgot the rock that begot you, and in oblivion you put the God who formed you. 19. What the Lord saw and despised them, because he was provoked to anger against their sons and their daughters. 20. And he said, I will hide my face from them, I will see what their end will be, because they are a perverse generation, children in whom there is no loyalty. 21. They provoked me to jealousy with that which is not God, with their vanities they provoked me to anger, therefore I will provoke them to jealousy with that which is not a people, with a mad nation I will rouse them to anger. 22. For a fire is kindled in my anger, and it will burn to the lowest depths of hell, and will consume the earth with its harvest, and will set the foundations of the mountains on fire. 23. Evils will heap upon them, my arrows will exhaust against them. 24. They will be consumed by hunger, eaten by burning fever and bitter plague, and against them I will send the teeth of wild beasts, with the fiery venom of serpents of the dust. 25. The sword without will devastate, and the terror within, to the young man with the virgin, to the sucking child as well as to the man of gray hairs. 26. I said, I will scatter them everywhere, I will cause his memory to cease from among men. 27. If I were not afraid of the wrath of the enemy, lest his adversaries be deceived, and lest they say, our hand is lifted up, the Lord did not do all this. 28. Because they are people lacking advice, and in them there is no understanding. 29. If only they were wise. Let them understand this, and attend to their end. 30. How could one chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to flight, if their rock had not sold them, and the Lord had not given them up? 31. Because their rock is not like our rock, even our enemies being judges of this. 32. For his vineyard is the vineyard of Sodom and the fields of Gomorrah, their grapes are poisonous grapes, they have bitter clusters. 33. Their wine is the fiery poison of serpents, and the cruel venom of vipers. 34. Is this not kept with me? Sealed in my treasures? 35. Mine is vengeance and recompense, as your foot slips, for the day of their ruin is at hand, and the things that shall happen to them, hasten to come. 36. For the Lord will execute justice for his people, and will have mercy on his servants, when he sees that their power is gone, and there is none bound nor helpless. 37. Then he will say, Where are your gods? The rock they trusted. 38. Whose sacrifices did they eat the fat, and whose drink offerings did they drink the wine? Arise, and help you, that there may be a hiding place for you. 39. See now that I am, and there is no other God besides me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal, and no one escapes my hand. 40. For I will lift my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. 41. If I sharpen my glittering sword, and if my hand hinders judgment, I will repay vengeance on my adversaries, and I will reward those who hate me. 42. I will make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword will eat flesh, from the blood of the slain and the prisoners, from the head, there will be vengeance of the enemy. 43. Rejoice, O nations, his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will repay vengeance on his adversaries, and will have mercy on his land and on his people. 44. And Moses came, and spoke all the words of this song in the hearing of the people, he and Joshua the son of Nun. 45. And when Moses had finished speaking all these words to all Israel. 46. He said to them, Set your heart on all the words that I testify among you today, that you may recommend them to your children, that they may be careful to do all the words of this law. 47. For this word is not in vain for you, rather it is your life, and by this same word you will prolong your days in the land which, crossing Jordan, you go to possess. 48. Then the Lord spoke to Moses that same day, saying, 49. Go up to Mount Abarim, to Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, opposite Jericho, and view the land of Canaan, which I will give to the children of Israel for a possession. 50. And die on the mountain to which you will go up, and gather yourself to your people, as Aaron your brother died on Mount Hor, and gathered himself to his people. 51. Because ye trespassed against me among the children of Israel, at the waters of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, for ye did not sanctify me among the children of Israel. 52. Therefore thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not enter into it, into the land which I will give to the children of Israel. Deuteronomy 33. 1. But this is the blessing with which Moses the man of God blessed the children of Israel before his death. 2. Then he said, The Lord came from Sinai, and went up to them from Seir, he shone from Mount Paran, and came with 10,000 saints, at his right hand there was for them the fire of the law. 3. Indeed he loves people, all his saints are in his hand, they will be placed in the middle, between your feet, and each one will receive from your words. 4. Moses gave us the law, as an inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. 5. And he was king in Jeshurun, when the heads of the people were gathered together with the tribes of Israel. 6. Long live Reuben, and he may not die, and may his men not be few. 7. And this is what he said of Judah, Hear, O Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring him in among his people, his hands are sufficient for him, and you be his help against his enemies. 8. And of Levi he said, Your Thummim and your Urim are for your beloved, whom you proved at Massah, with whom you contended at the waters of Meribah. 9. He who said to his father and mother, I never saw them, and he did not know his brothers, and he did not love his children, for they kept your word and kept your covenant. 10. They taught Jacob your judgments, and Israel your law, they put incense in your nostrils, and the burnt offering on your altar. 11. Bless his power, O Lord, and accept the work of his hands, he wounds the loins of those who rise up against him and hate him, so that they rise up no more. 12. And of Benjamin he said, The beloved of the Lord shall dwell safely with him, all day long he will cover him, and he will dwell between his shoulders. 13. And of Joseph he said, Blessed be the land of the Lord, with the best of the heavens, with the dew, and with the deep that lies beneath. 14. and with the most excellent fruits of the sun, and with the most excellent productions of the moons. 15. And with the most excellent of ancient mountains, and with the most excellent of eternal hills. 16. And with the best of the earth, and of its fullness, and with the kindness of him who dwelt in the bush, come on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him who was separated from his brothers. 17. He has the glory of the firstborn of his bull, and his horns are the horns of a wild ox. With them he will drive back all peoples to the ends of the earth. These are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and these are the thousands of Manasseh. 18. And of Zebulun he said, Zebulun, rejoice in your goings out, and you, Issachar, in your tents. 19. They will call the peoples to the mountain, there they will present offerings of righteousness, for they will suck up the abundance of the seas and the hidden treasures of the sand. 20. And of Gad he said, Blessed is he that enlarges Gad, he dwells like a lioness, and tears apart the arm and the top of the head. 21. And he provided himself with the best part, because there was hidden the portion of the lawgiver. Therefore he came with the leaders of the people, he executed the justice of the Lord and his judgments towards Israel. 22. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp, that she leaps from Bashan. 23. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, be filled with loving kindness, and be filled with the blessing of the Lord, owns the west and the south. 24. And of Asher he said, Blessed be Asher with his sons, please his brothers, and bathe his foot in oil. 25. Let your shoes be made of iron and metal, and may your strength be like your days. 26. There is no one like God, O Jeshurun, who rides through the heavens to your help, and with his majesty over the highest clouds. 27. The eternal God is your dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms, and he shall cast out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, Destroy him. 28. Israel shall dwell alone, secure, in the land of the fountain of Jacob, in the land of grain and new wine, and their heavens will drop dew. 29. Blessed are you, O Israel! Who is like you? A people saved by the Lord, the shield of your help, and the sword of your majesty. Therefore thine enemies shall be subject to thee, and thou shalt tread on their heights. Deuteronomy 34. 1. So Moses went up from the plains of Moab to Mount Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, which is opposite Jericho. And the Lord showed him all the land from Gilead to Dan. 2. And all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim, and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah, as far as the western sea. 3. And the south, and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, as far as Zor. 4. And the Lord said unto him, This is the land which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, To thy seed will I give it. I make you see it with your eyes, but you will not pass there. 5. So Moses the servant of the Lord died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. 6. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor, and no one has known to this day the place of his burial. 7. Moses was 120 years old when he died, his eyes never grew dim, nor did they lose their vigor. 8. And the children of Israel mourned for Moses 30 days in the plains of Moab, and the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were accomplished. 9. And Joshua the son of Nun was filled with the spirit of wisdom, because Moses had laid his hands on him, so the children of Israel listened to him, and did as the Lord had commanded Moses. 10. And there arose no more prophet in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. 11. Nor like in all the signs and wonders which the Lord sent him to do in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh, and to all his servants, and to all his land. 12. And in all the mighty hand, and in all the great terror, which Moses did in the sight of all Israel. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, leave your like, and make a comment.